Are you looking for a new shooter to play now that Call of Duty and Activision is burning? Delta Force is destroying their own hype at the moment, and there's no new Battlefield game around the corner, earliest at the end of this year, meaning 2025, or as far away as 2026. Well, then maybe a free-to-play third-person shooter such as Rogue Company could be something for you. So let's get into it and see if Rogue Company is worth it in 2025. Now, Rogue Company was released in 2020, developed by First Watch Games, and it is published by ADRESS Studios. The game is available on PC, as I'm playing here, both on Steam and through Epic Games as well. If you're a console gamer, you can play Rogue Company on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, and Xbox One. A good thing to mention early on here is that Rogue Company supports full crossplay and cross-progression. So, Rogue Company is a tactical third-person shooter where you play either 4v4 or 6v6 in modes such as King of the Hill, Strikeout, which I think I'm playing here in the video, or plant and defuse bombs in Demolition. The characters in Rogue Company are called rogues, each with their own unique set of skills, weapons and gadgets. For example, when playing Strikeout, you'll have a buy menu where you can upgrade your weapons, armor and gear as you progress during the matches. This brings some choices and variation into the game, depending also on how you spend your in-game cash. Maybe you want to buy a katana and be a bit more close-up, or maybe you just want to buy a sniper rifle instead, depending on your rogue and also your playstyle. The rogues can be unlocked free and come with additional free rewards that you can collect just by playing the game. My first impression when coming back to Rogue Company once more in order to make this video was the fact that I was playing the game on Steam instead of Epic Games, which for me personally meant a fairly new account in the game, if you will, compared to the progression I had on my older account on Epic Games. I'm pretty sure I had more rogues unlocked on Epic Games, but that's not so important for the sake of this video. It is more important to mention that I did have fun going back playing the game once more, which is always the most important thing in my book when you're sitting down taking your time playing a video game. Unfortunately, Rogue Company seems to suffer from a low player count almost 5 years after release. I thought we would talk about that as well, first by looking at the Steam charts. And as we can see, there's been only around 228 players on average playing Rogue Company on Steam. Not so many, but remember once more that the game is crossplay, so there's more people than that online playing the game, although the numbers altogether are probably not that amazing. But even so, in casual as I'm playing here, I didn't have any problems getting into matches. It took me only around 1 minute on average to get into one when playing before noon on weekdays living in Sweden, meaning Europe. I guess though it might be harder though when it comes to ranked matchmaking due to a low player count, so I'm not sure if I would recommend people to start playing Rogue Company in 2025 just for the sake of ranked. It feels as if the player base might be a bit too small for that to work as intended. Feel free to fill in here when it comes to those of you that are playing or has been playing ranked in Rogue Company. But the actual gameplay and the maps plays pretty well. I had to remind me though that you could and should sometimes look over your left shoulder, for example, instead of your right shoulder, when playing a third-person shooter like this in certain situations, such as for example peeking a corner, something that I once again started to do more frequently after an hour or two of playing. I also believe that they've created a bunch of different characters, or rogues as they're called, that are fun and interesting to use. Abilities that sometimes match each other but can also counter some, and the actual abilities not being too over the top as well, so that focus is foremost on the actual gunplay, because there are sometimes games that, gets annoying after some time due to an unbalanced experience regarding abilities, and sometimes also in combination with a poor map design that doesn't play well in certain game modes. But now to one of the things that might drive people away from the game before even trying it out. Rogue Company doesn't have any active support any longer, meaning that the game is sort of standing still in its current state, and it's been like this for quite some time now. I believe there hasn't been any new things added into the game since last summer, and no major updates since the fall of 2023, if the Reddit posts I was reading is accurate. I believe that ADRESS, who are the publishers, decided to shut down the original Rogue Company team and move the project over to the team that was handling Paladins. This is of course overall bad for the game, meaning Rogue Company, and especially also the players that has invested both time and maybe money as well into Rogue Company. It seems as if games such as Paladins and might have a higher priority compared to Rogue Company in this case. And this is unfortunate, since Rogue Company definitely has qualities as a game and could potentially still, with active support and efforts, attract an audience also in 2025. But the question is if a low player count in combination with no support makes this game not worth it, meaning not even worth trying out. Here it partly comes down to what kind of player you are and what you're looking for when you're trying out a new game. Are we talking about a new put all my time into one title kind of game, or could it just be a casual once in a while experience? If you are the first kind of player as described that are used to grind one, tops two games at a time, looking for to almost unlock everything in the game and therefore need active support from the devs in order to find new challenges to keep you engaged, then Rogue Company will most likely not be worth it for you, especially now in 2025. However, if you're more like me, I guess, someone that enjoys to change things up every now and then, playing the newest AAA title out there, but at the same time, having a variety of shooters such as indie games and smaller free-to-play titles on your hard drive as well, then I do believe that you could appreciate Rogue Company for what it is in its current state. At least you will have quite some new content to look into since you're new into the game, and also unlock as you go, even if it's not on a very regular basis. I find myself more and more going back playing some older titles that I've played and enjoyed before. It also has to do with the content that I'm making on my channel, of course, but the reasons are mainly two. The nostalgia when it comes to having memories from a time when you did put a lot of time in a certain game, playing it. Maybe together with a friend or two, and that's fine with that kind of emotion, although you sometimes also realize that some games maybe haven't aged that well. The second reason is also because I've had a hard time in recent years to enjoy some of the newer shooter titles out there. In short, Battlefield is not what it used to be, Call of Duty is definitely not what it used to be, and some other titles, for example, attempts to get into a free-to-play FPS or shooter market has failed. I'm thinking, for example, about Ubisoft's latest attempt regarding X-Defiant. Yes, many major companies are screwing things up, or at least complicating things big time nowadays, either due to money greed or a combination with not good enough game development. With that said, free-to-play titles are important, plays an important role here, since I do feel that they potentially can fill a gap, so to say. So once again, Rogue Company is worth it if you do like to play a game just for fun, maybe once in a while, and do not care so much about not having a game being supported, and also the fact that there's a low player count. But if you're looking for a game to put several hours into, play ranked and have the full experience, maybe you should think twice before investing that time in 2025 regarding Rogue Company. Of course, this is again up to you. I do think though it's worth trying out. I mean, it's free to play, and as said before, I've had fun playing. Rogue Company has given me a bit of variation compared to other games that I'm currently playing, so if you feel like it, check it out, and of course let me know your thoughts in the comments. With that said, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll talk to you soon again in an upcoming video. Take care. Later.